up till I'm on top.
Yo, no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, man, I do it till I get what I want. I turn a business out of nothing into something I love. I got a poker face, but honestly, I'm not one to bluff. I flip a switch, never miss, man, I always stay up. Don't let them see you, bitch, always have a plan to stay tough. This life ahead of you ain't easy, it was built to be rough. But that's what makes a personality, is tragedy, bruh. So keep your head on your shoulders. Now we ain't out here moving rocks, we out here moving boulders. Now we ain't getting posterized, we out here making posters, and we ain't got nothing to hide.
What up? What up? What is up? Hope everyone's having a great Friday. TGIFF. Summer is here in the Northeast, but it's a little chilly today. Not gonna lie. Sitting around 58 degrees here for being the middle of June. Could use a little heat. I don't need it to be hot. I just don't want to have to be looking for socks. You know what I'm saying? Picking up what I'm putting down here. It's chilly. I had to close a window. It's that cold out. Let's go. I see I messed up my download, so I'm fixing that on the fly as we roll into this show. But hey, we had a nice, fun live stream last night. I'll tell you, anytime you have the option to join us for combat sports, you got to take advantage of it. We're not the guys talking about replenishing your bankroll. You can always add more money to your bankroll. No. We're the guys talking about cashing out on the bankroll. What a fantastic evening. Finished it off big with that Thad Gene spot. Huge. It was late. It was late night. I didn't expect it to go that late. But look, the NHL, what a terrific game that was, especially for your boy here. I was live betting. We were sweating for sure. But this thing started off, plus 125? We got live bets at over plus 1,000. They were down 3-0. What are you going to say? They weren't monsters, right? They're plus 1,000s. They're down 3-0. But we joked, said the worst lead to have in hockey is a 3-0 lead in the Stanley Cup Finals after the first period. Turns out it was true. It was a fun game, though. It was a ton of fun. And then that UFC or that PFL card was pretty good, too. So we made some good money out there last night. It was a lot of fun. 3 straight days of live streaming. Not going to be live streaming tonight. Taking the night off of this one as we get ready for the big Saturday card. But look, lots of NBA and NHL games going on. So we want to try to maximize the time that we have to capitalize on these sports before they go into summer mode. So sorry, we're not sorry. Had a great Tuesday live stream. Had a great Wednesday live stream. Had a great Thursday live stream. The bankroll is starting to grow. Starting to see the fruits of our labor, if you will. So, it's only right. Let's see if I fix this. Did not fix this. I did not fix this. Let's see here. Let's see here. I swear I'm hitting transparent background. What the heck is going on, man? 2 days now, StreamYard has been not handling their business. See, we got a big card too. We got a big card to get to. It's Friday. There's UFC tomorrow. That means we get Andrew Babakidis today. He'll be checking in from behind the counter at the Las Vegas Superbook. He's going to talk to us about that liability that exists for this UFC card. They're away from the baby cage, so they will be UFC Fight Night in Hotlanta. Tomorrow we'll start our live show probably around 6:50-ish. 6:45-ish, 6:50-ish. Let's see if this does the trick now. Let's see. There we go. We got it. If at first you don't succeed, try and blame somebody else. Works the best. Somebody got me a coffee mug one time ago when I was in a different line of work. And it said, everyone makes mistakes, but to blame it on someone else is management potential. So that's what I did. Anyhow, we're ready to go. You see, it's a full card. We've got a bunch of baseball games here. We've got a full slate. That Cubs game finished off. Gave out a same game parlay earlier today. Didn't love the card, but I thought it was a good shot. It didn't matter. Skeens didn't get 7 Ks. We had 7+ Ks for Skeens. He got 5. So kind of knew he was in trouble when he was sitting on like 3 in the third or fourth inning. I was like, they're going to go deep with this guy. Pittsburgh gets the win. 2-1 win for the Pirates. Yeah, no run support for Skeens. He really didn't even do his job. It was just the Pirates snuck into a win, You could argue he kept the batters off the board. So did he do his job? But no, he's a strikeout guy. Fading Skeens K's is like fading Angel Reese's over rebound props. It's just good money. It's just good money. I don't like how this internet connection is set up now either. What is going on? Okay, well, guess we're going to have to deal with it. So far, so good. So yeah, let's go. 2 games are going to pop off here shortly in Major League Baseball. I don't love them. I thought it was a pretty good slate. If you're a Drover fan, you're not going to like my card tonight. But the Marlins and the Nationals. Look, I almost took the Nationals. I don't like the line movement. -122 to -110. You want to fade the Marlins in game 1 of a series. You tend to want to fade the Nationals in game 1 of a series. But the Nationals are at home, and they have a lefty on the bump. So I stayed off it. The Toronto and Phillies game. All signs point to Phillies for me. It's Gausman on the bump. I can't do it. Actually, you know what I'm going to add? I'm going to add to that game because it's going to start here, and I want you guys to know I'm on the under 8. Under 8 in that game is priced at -107. So we'll pop the show off a little impromptu, a little out of sequence to take that under 8. So let me make sure we get -107 is the best number I see right now. I know a lot of you guys like this. I see the RBI contest, so we'll talk about that in a second. I know there's a lot of Phillies love tonight. The Yankees and the Red Sox will battle in the best series of Major League Baseball. The Colorado Avalanche, the Atlanta Braves, the White Sox and the Rangers. Big news. Savali stinks. We talked about that last week before the Brewers game. Couldn't bet on Savali with the Brewers. They delegated him or relegated him to the bullpen. And he said, I want to trade. I don't want to be in your bullpen. I want to start. So he's in the White Sox. He got sent to Chicago. He's in the White Sox uniform going forward for Aaron Savali. I don't know if that's good for him or not, but they'll have a change of scenery, that's for sure. Oakland and Kansas City will battle in a parlay piece that I have, a little 2-leg same game parlay. Minnesota and Houston, San Francisco and the Dodgers will bring us to the end of Major League Baseball. I've got an NBA same game parlay. I only have the same game parlay, so I forgot to put the NBA on the screen. I have 2 plays for the WNBA, and we're going to welcome in Andrew Babakidis to talk to us about the UFC Atlanta. Any questions you guys have, he'll be sure to fire away on them. Everyone says, too bad Savali. And that's the deal. So we have the Instagram play of the day is out there. We're 2-2 this week here on the Instagram play of the day. No, literally 0. No money. No, 0 flat. Just haven't, we cashed a couple plus. We lost a couple minus. Nothing. But we have a play loaded today. So make sure you do check it out over there. Sports Money Network is the Instagram handle. I will drop it in the chat. You don't want to miss out on this one. I think this is a really good look tonight. I think it's a really strong look to beat the book. That's what we're here to do. That's what we want to make happen. What else? Well, maybe you heard we have a little contest going on over here. It's the Ribeye Play of the Day contest. And we have a new leader in the clubhouse, Charlie Bradshaw. Checks in at +670. Go 2310 is sitting there at +570. MMA Jeff has moved into the 3rd spot with 520. Kelly V debuts on the top 5 leaderboard with +515, tied with DJ Hardy to round out the top 5. I updated the tracker. I updated the spreadsheet. So now each day has its own tab at the bottom. Same information, same content. Just I had to do a little cleanup, a little administrivia to, frankly, we ran out of fields. So we had to change the look a little bit, but it's still the same information. So you guys know the deal. Get those ribeye plays in there before the game starts. And if you don't see me give you the thumbs up and confirmation, then I did not see your play. So either screenshot it, DM me, do something. I can't. If you can't see it, chances are I can't see it. I would have thumbs up it if I could have. So that being said, just keep your eyes open Help me help you. There are rules to this contest. The rules include putting the player, the price, and the book is a key component out there. Some of you guys are missing the book. Also, you got to hit the thumbs up on the videos for the contest itself. It takes you 1 second. We should have 50 minimum thumbs up. 50 minimum. So I'll be running the report to see who isn't thumbs upping. and hopefully you're not one of the winners. Well, there's only one winner. Make sure you thumbs up is what I'm saying. If you're picking up what I'm putting down, are you picking up what I'm putting down? Let's go. Let's get to it, though. Now's that time of the show. We're in show. It's thumbs up time. Post show, it's comments time. In show, thumbs up time. Help us grow this thing. Get this voice from Sports Money loud and proud. Let's keep growing. Let's keep professionally disrupting this space. This space has a stench to it. And we're coming through here fresh as a daisy, showing them how to do it, being transparent, taking our lumps, taking our wins, putting the work in on a daily basis. All we ask you to do is smash that thumbs up button kindly. Respect to the silver and gold members. Appreciate you guys there that have the opportunity to share a little bit more. If you are in that position, if you like what we're doing here, if you want to consider ways to help us continue to grow, consider upgrading your membership out there. We get over 190 gifted memberships on a monthly basis. For a couple bucks more, you can further support the squad. And I referenced this on Friday because early action Saturday, early action Sunday, I try to put together a select few plays, my best bets, if you will, to give back to those that give more to us as a way of saying thank you. So if you could kindly consider that upgrade, it's a small price to pay. It's like 16 cents a day more, but it helps us a ton. There's a lot of behind the scenes stuff that goes on here, as you guys know. And every so often we like to find a couple extra bucks for a contest like we're hosting here right now. So it means a lot if you guys could take some time to do that. If you've been thinking about upgrading, I tell you this, I can all but guarantee you this. The cost, the $5 extra to get to a silver level membership will easily be paid off by the time this weekend's done. Easily. Even if you're betting 25 cents a game. Well, you have to bet more than 25 cents a game. You got to probably bet $1 a game. And we'll get you guys plus 5 units after this weekend's done. I feel pretty confident in saying that. Again, we put the work in. We do it on a regular basis. And we're here to show and tell. We've got a bunch of action to get to. We don't have a ton of time. 6:45 is when our guy is joining us. It's that time of the show. We're going to give a quick recap of yesterday. It was an okay day yesterday. The live stream was obviously where it was at. That's where it's always at. That's where we always make our cash and continue to grow these bankrolls. Lost a net unit yesterday on the show. Sucks. It is what it is. Pushed the under first 5 with the 4 of Baltimore. Lost the first 5 under 7. I'm sorry, won the first 5. Excuse me. Let me start that over. Pushed the first 5 under 4 in Baltimore. Won the under 7.5. Okay. Rain delay got us. And frankly, the lineup changes got us as well. The first 5, Kansas City was a push. The Yankees game over 4.5 and over 8.5 had no chance. It was a 1-0 final. We have a trend when a team loses 1-0. We will talk about that tonight. The Cardinals got blanked 6-0. There's another top. There's another spot. A team that just got shut out. The Edmonton Oilers. I told you about the plus 1,000s live. But we cashed a plus 125. The under 7.5, the Cubs and Pirates series, 3-2. We didn't even have to look at the wind. We knew 7.5. It was blowing in. We cashed 3-2 final. And maybe the disappointment of the night was the White Sox. Go up 1-0, go down 3-1, down 4-2, come back 4-3. Can't quite get over the hump. We scratched out a couple of bucks, literally. It was, I think, a plus 105. So we lost the Moneyline, plus 230. We won the plus 1.5 at plus 105. And then the BC Lions. Well, clearly an overreaction by yours truly here for missing your starting quarterback, your best wide receiver, and a key number of talent. Well, you're coming off a bye in week 1. So That is what it is. That's the way the day finished out for us there. But again, live stream was where it's at. No excuses, just reality. You guys know the deal. You've been around. We find these opportunities. We're all honed in. We got a whole bunch of eyeballs looking at these games and these processes and these props and everything else, and we fire. Speaking of firing, get that pen and paper out. It's time to fire with the best damn chat in the business. Here to share their best bets for you. It's going to pop off with Jover. Giving us the Angels Orioles over 10.5 and the Guardians Mariners over 7. No 7, don't scare Jover. Shout out to Jover. Angels Orioles over 10.5. Guardians Mariners over 7. Nicholas Handy's here. Joe W's here. Stop Geo's here. Ignatius Penny Feather the 7th is here. All right. He says be low for an RBI. I'll check it out and make sure I see it there. Peter Gracia, what's up, my guy? Says amazing Edmonton comeback. There were some haters out there. Right away, they're like, oh, they're done. It's 3-0. They're done. I said, well, I bet him at 450. I bet him at 550. I bet him at 1,100. I tried to bet him at 1,300. They wouldn't let me. They weren't done. And Stuart Skinner keeps his unbeaten streak, and game number 4 is alive. He's now 7-0 in game number 4. Shout out to Louis Eisenhower. Thursday night was money. Damn right it was. Nobody's here says nothing better than gambling and all those other degenerate behaviors. We're going to shut that down. Jay Main's in the house. AOD says the Oilers fucked. Absolutely. Stop just as if at first you don't succeed. I want to smoke some weed. Okay. Phil the Kills on the Marlins -107. Say a prayer. David Wallace says, what's up, everybody? Peter Grassi says, leaning socks with crochet. See what Karnak the Mag? I'm not sure what that says. Am I just struggling to read it? Karnak the Mag says, I'm not sure. I don't know. Nasty Nate, Marlins and over parlay for Nasty Nate. Joe Dogs here. The Futon Bets likes a Nerfy. That Tigers game. J-Man likes the Marlins. I don't think it's the Marlins, you guys. I couldn't pull the trigger on it. Couldn't pull the trigger on it. I don't think it's the Marlins, though. I don't know. Friends don't talk friends off dogs, right? Isn't that the saying? I don't know. It's weird line movement, too. J-Man likes the Yankees. Shout out to Flea Mathis is here. J-Man says Jorge Solar RBI is his RBI play. Kelly V's in the house. I berated. I just let everybody know I was disappointed. It just takes a second. The next one says, great last night. Let's get it tonight. Oh, yeah. Lexicon, Braves and O's. Let's go. Keats in the house. New York Yankees under 8.5 for Peter Gracia. DJ Hardy. Thanks for that plus 850 yesterday. It was good stuff, wasn't it? It was really good stuff. Kelly V says Toronto, Philly again. New York Yankees, Boston again. Just played. DJ says we going live tonight. I'm a little tired, man. Oh, I see what you're saying. I got you. Peter Gracia. Let's go. Let's get to work. We got 22 minutes until our boy is going to pop in. I'm looking forward to this UFC card. I'm going to need all the help we can get. I found this card to be incredibly difficult. I'm going to spend some time tonight trying to look over some of this history because I don't think it's an easy card. I have some preconceived notion around these fighters because I think we're seeing some of them now 3-4 times deep and skipped his Nerfy. I skipped Nate's Nerfy. The Red Sox Nerfy. The Red Sox smash, dude. Only talk about the Red Sox when they smash. He says Nerfy. Nerfy action for the Red Sox for our guy, Nasty Nate. Let's get her going. I talked about the contest. UFC is out there. The First Strike is available for everyone to check out. 3 plays out there. Released at a little different timing. I'm just trying a couple things differently with trying to disrupt that algorithm with YouTube. So it came out last night. It's there for you guys to check out today. We'll see if this works or doesn't. That's what it comes down to. So That being said, First Strike is out there. VB MMA and the Ramon Scott Show is out there. We had Sharpie adding to our lineup of action. He's debuted his Friday show for the Walking Dead here on the channel today. We'll expect to see that on Tuesdays and Fridays going forward. And we're going to be live tomorrow night for that UFC card. So you're not going to want to miss out the action. I just told you how great we do it when it comes to live betting. We ain't sweating. We're just getting that money. You don't want to miss out. Let's go. Nasty Nate says he'll be at this game Sunday for Father's Day at the Sam Adams deck. Your cousin from Boston. I think I did that one a little bit better this time. Peter likes that Nerfy too. We'd have some Nerfy plays if you guys like these Nerfies so much. Peter Grassi says, nice deck up there. Good for you, Nasty Nate. Let's go. Let's go. Let's make him some money this weekend here so he's got money to work with. Money to burn out there. All right, let's go. I'm ready to talk about some baseball with you guys here. Sit here all night dilly-dallying, but there's no reason. There's no need. We should just get into this. Gosh, you know what would be so helpful is if AI could just recognize, now I'm going to talk about baseball. Just put all the fucking stats on the screen for me. Make it my life easy. I'm going to talk about this first game. I told you guys, my thoughts, it's the Nats, it's Toronto, and I added that under in that Toronto game. 93% of the bets, 96% of the cash are on the over 8 in that Toronto Phillies game. It hasn't moved off the 8. Didn't start at a 9 too, so for everybody being commanding on that over, I'm not buying it. I also think it's the under in the Nats game. 91% of the bets, 89% of the cash are on the over 9 in that Marlins Nationals game. It's not moving. In fact, it's showing 8.5. 63% of the bets, 76% of the cash are on the Nationals. It's gone from minus 122 to minus 110. I want to take the Nationals. It's all right. We have work to do. Let's get to the getting here. This game's got overwritten all over it. The Angels and the Orioles. But why has the total not moved off of 10? 60% of the bets and 69% of the cash are on that over. It's sitting at 10. In fact, it's juiced to the under 10. Saw some 10.5s out there earlier today. Tricky card today. The Orioles line got pumped from minus 164 to minus 188. 57% of the bets, 40. Oh, I like that clock there. It's a nice little reminder timer. 57% of the bets, 41% of the cash on the Orioles. It's gone from 164 to 188. It's Jack Kochanowicz. Ground Chuck. Why do they call Charlie Morton Ground Chuck? Because he likes to pitch to contact and put a lot of ground balls in play. Righty on righty, 5.61 for Jack, 6.59 for Chuck. Chuck's recent outing, probably not his best work. Came off of going back-to-back 6s. Here's what I talk about with the bunches. These players are who they are. 3 sub-5 inning outings for Ground Chuck. Then he has a 6 and a 6.2. How's he fire back against the Athletics? 2.1 innings. 2.1. Needless to say, that was not his finest work. 6 hits, 4 runs, 4 earned. Did have 5 strikeouts in those 2.1 innings, but the contact proved to be too much for Ground Chuck. The flip side of things for our guy, Uncle Jackie here, is that he stinks, and he stinks on the road as well. His last outing, probably one to forget at 3.1 innings pitched. 9 hits, 4 runs, 4 earned, 1 homer. I get why the over seems like it's the play. These guys are both mediocre at best. In fact, if you look at Jack, his last 4 games, he's given up 4 earned runs each one of them, and 2 home runs in one game, 1 home run in back-to-back games out there. Not so much a K machine. I get the over. I can understand why you want to play the over business. I can tell you this. Sharp, respected betting report came through. And the Sharps like the Angels. And I started looking at this game and I saw plus 165 now for this Angels. And I thought to myself, If it's good enough for the Sharps, it's got to be good enough for me. What the hell's going on? Why are they banging away on this thing? And I think what it comes down to is this price is just not, it's just too wide, to quote my guy Sub. I mean, home favorites, the first game of a series are 58-24. So there's, a little Orioles in game one are 28-11. I mean, there's a lot of opportunity to want to get involved on that side of things here, but I think the reality, here's the number. A hot team against a shit opponent in a series opener finds themselves 61-58. So now, is that a profitable number? Well, no, it's 51.2% win ratio, but you're picking up a plus 165 price tag on it. The price is too wide, and that's a profitable system because of that. So I'm going to take the Los Angeles Angels. I'm going to back those sharp, respected bettors, whomever they are. I'd like to meet them one day. But until then, I'm good. Is there rain coming in this game now? Is that what you're guys saying? See, the thing for me with the starting pitching, and they're both shit, and they both don't go 5. So I'm not even concerned about that, frankly. Too wide. Let's go. We got 14 minutes. We got to pump out some picks. Let's talk about this Red Sox game here, because we got this Boston Red Sox, the Sox. Gonna park the car and go watch the Sox. And we got them playing the Yankees on top of all things. Wouldn't that just make sense on Father's Day weekend? You get the U.S. Open. You get the oldest, best rivalry in baseball between the Yankees and the Sox. It's Garrett Crochet. It's Ryan Yarbrough coming up on the other side of things here. And we got lefty on lefty. That's where I approached this one and said, it's got to be a look at the total. Let's see what's going on. And it's Garrett Crochet. Garrett Crochet's in an 0-12 spot. This is a fake Garrett Crochet spot for what it's worth. But he pitches incredibly well recently. 6 innings pitched. He did get hit 6 times and he gave up 5 earned his last game. That was against the Yankees. I have a belief system. It's the zigzag theory. If you just play the team and there's nobody in between, they have more time to prepare and reflect is what it comes down to, right? You take that look back and you say, well, I went 6 innings. I got touched up 6 times. What can I do differently this next time? And that's the way they approach it. That's why I think this is an opportunity for us to look at the under. On the same side of things with Yarbrough, I mean, look, 2.25 ERA. He pitches better on the road, and he's coming off of just getting blasted against the same team. So if these guys played 10-7 the last time they played, the line's at 8.5. What the fuck's going on? And why is it not moving? All good questions to be asked. I answered them. It's because the under is the play for us in this game. Keeping moving. We got a lot of plays to get to, so I got to get to getting. Told you you're not going to be, if you're an over better. Peter says my accent's getting better. Thanks, dude. I'm trying live with you guys. So that's the way it goes. You're over better. You're not going to like my card tonight. It is chock full of unders. Literally. Wait till we get done with this card. And I don't know why. That just happens to be the way I thought this card broke down. Now we've got the big factor for me. This applies to 2 games in this series. It's not just the only reason why we're going to take this under, but Colorado and San Francisco just played that monster series at Coors. They scored about 400 runs. Colorado, in fact, came back last game. What was it? 8-7 final. This is a huge number for the Braves. Not going to fuck with it. Not at minus 300. I would take the Rockies, but I'm not taking the Rockies. 92% of the bets, 95% of the cash are on the Braves. It's moved as well, 300 to 325. The 9.5s come down to 8.5. 93% of the bets and 93% of the cash are on the over. Huh. It's Bryce Elder. It's Herman Marquez. It's not a lot of confidence instilled in these guys. Yet here we go with this number that's dropping. Herman Marquez sports himself a glorious 7 ERA. It's amazing. And what's even better than 7 ERA is he's 8.82 on the road. So he's even worse on the road. And they don't win. This is an ugly game. I think the situation with the Atlanta Braves right now is they play to their competition. I also know when we're leaving Coors, the adjustment required in batting, the metrics, the way the hips move, the whole process to me is off and off kilter. So I expect the Braves probably do end up winning this game. Am I going to be mad that I didn't lay 2.5 and they win by 3 and I would have made minus 120? No, not. I'm going to take the under. And I'm going to cross my fingers and pray that this intersecting zero trend can come to fruition for us. That's the way I chose to look at it. By the way, with that Angels game, 10-3 their last 13 on the road. That's what I meant when it comes to that strong hitting team, strong playing team out there. So Atlanta's 8-0-2 to the under when they win by at least 3 runs. And the average is 6.2 runs per game. Easily going under that 9.5. Number 2 is Colorado 17-3 to the under. This is the Coors factor. Colorado 17-3 to the under. Non-divisional road game after a home series. That's Coors. That's the home series. Is that Coors? 6.9 average runs per game in those spots as well. Numbers suggest this is going to be a lower scoring affair. I get it. I saw some Acunas and some Albies, and I don't mind those RBI props. I'm just not going to pull the trigger here. The White Sox is an under. I told you guys. And it's not a joke. It's fucking real. Clearly. Big money on the Rangers. It's gone from minus 295 to minus 172. Big reverse line movement. 86% of the bets, 89% of the cash on the Rangers. The total's gone up from 7.5 to 8.5. We have 94% of the bets, 93% of the cash. We're not just going to flip the line movement here. We're not just going to play the old ride the lightning. They put a buffer in there on this game for us now, and I think this is an 8 total on the dot. Adrian Hauser will pop off with a stellar 1.49 ERA on the season. Impressive. 2-1, so even though he's playing for a shit team, he's doing his job, shutting them down. Sean Armstrong on the other side has that 3.33 ERA. Probably the talk of the trop here. Texas Rangers just won 16-3 yesterday. And 2 of the 3 games in that series with Minnesota, they got 16 runs. Holy shit. The White Sox, I just mentioned, got Aaron Savale. He doesn't really impact production one way or the other. I think at this point, he's got to go prove himself. But if they got walked a bunch of times, their bats are out of sequence, and the Texas Rangers find themselves 10-3 to the under, going under by over 2 runs a game, 2.1 runs a game. They're 10-0 to the under if they scored more than 7 runs. That's the blown load theory. If the Rangers blew their load the previous game, they're averaging 5.5 runs per game that following game. 10-0-2, averaging 5.5 runs. The numbers suggest it's a lower scoring side for Texas, and the White Sox are 12-0 to the under. If they're a dog of less than 195, coming through with a mediocre 4 runs per game. Way too many runs on this thing. And they built in a 1 for us on that for 8.5. We'll take the under and we'll keep her moving. Brisk pace today. 7 minutes. Where the hell does the time go? I don't know. I know this. Talked about this at the onset of the show. What happens when a team gets busted up and shut out 1-0? They bounce back. I'll talk about that in a minute here. Minus 172 has moved to minus 157 with 82% of the bets and 89% of the cash on the Royals. Reverse line movement. 2 reverse line movements for that matter that we're playing. The total's gone from 9 to 8.5. 89% of the bets, 86% of the cash on the over. Waka Waka with a 3.01 ERA. Luis Severino will take the bump on the Oakland Athletics side. This is the parlay that I put together. This is the bounce back opportunity for me. As I was looking at this play here, rapid fire, I know, guys, but we got just 6 minutes to go, so bear with me as we get to the getting here. But bottom line, there's the parlay. Teams off a 1-0 loss are 130-73. It happens enough that they're 2-1 in the bounce back spot. 66, almost 66%. Oakland stinks. They're 0-14 in their last 14 road games. They're 4-24 their last 28 games. They're 0-16 if they walk less than 4 bases the previous game. I didn't want to get involved with the Kansas City -1.5 because they're the home team. And there's that potential that they lose that bottom of the ninth. And then when you look at the numbers, it suggests it's going to be a tight game. Plus 135s for the -1.5s for KC. I mean, I get the number. It's a nice looking number. But I think if this is a one-run game and it's a lower scoring affair, we want this Kansas City in the under 8.5. And we'll take this parlay to get us to Paytown. Lots of games to cover. We got to get her moving. Gots to get her moving. Let's see what you guys have to say here. I know I'm firing through this, you guys. Intersecting zeros. Nasty Nate. You put the New York and the Boston accents together, you get Rhode Island. Oh, what came down to 8? Which one was that? Which one did they might be listening to us now? They might have found us. That's not good. The Minnesota Twins, the Houston Astros. -118, 58% of the bets, 58% of the cash on the Astros. It's come down 18 cents. They're now a small dog. Small favorite for the Minnesota Twins. Not for me. Not after watching this team get busted up twice by 16 runs in 2 of the 3 games against the Texas Rangers. Hell no. The total has my allure here. 94% of the bets, 94% of the cash. It's Gordon. It's Paddock. Paddock hasn't been playing poorly lately. Not too poorly at all. As a matter of fact, kind of breaking this one down and looking at it when I started, I wanted to get involved with Houston until I started kind of taking a deeper dive and seeing, Paddock, 6 innings pitched his last game, only got hit 4 times, 1 home run, 2 earned runs. So despite getting touched up, look, 7 innings, 5.1, 5.1, 8, 6. Paddock's been quietly effective. Houston on the other side of things, a lefty in Colton Gordon coming up here without a lot of tape on this guy. Does have a 6.28 ERA, but he doesn't walk people. He doesn't put ducks on the pond. You strike him out or you're getting tagged out. Either way, I like the under in this game here. I think it's a good opportunity for the young buck to get some good tape out there and show everybody what he's capable of doing. We'll take the under 8.5 there. And last but not least, look, the Giants just left course. I'm a proponent of the effect. We talked about that already with the Colorado game. Big money on the Dodgers, 84% of the bets, 94% of the cash. It's come down 2 cents from -190 to -188. The 7.5 is juicing to the under. 93% of the bets, 91% of the cash. They open it at 7.5. It's getting pounded on the over. It has not moved. You look at the pitchers, you can start to figure out why. It's Yamamoto on the Dodgers side of things, and it's Logan Webb on the San Francisco side of things here. 2 studs, 2 guys that are very capable of going out there and nuking everybody. Yamamoto, probably, I don't know. I don't want to say, look, he had a shit one in there, but these guys are who they go in bunches. 6 innings pitched, 7 innings pitched, 6 innings pitched. Then he gets a 3.2 against the Yankees. Follows it back up with a 6 against the Cardinals on the road. He's back home. Pitches better at home. On the other side of things with Logan Webb, 2 things going on. 1, they left Coors. 2, they're not scoring. And 3, you got your potential ace on the bump, and he's trying to look for a bounce back. He didn't bounce back because he got short. He just got hit 6 times, 2 earned runs. One of them was a homer. So he's probably left a few more hits out there than desired. I believe that first 5 got melted because of him as well. So that was just a play for me where I'm looking at it going, this team left Coors. San Francisco specifically, 10-2 on Friday road spots to the under. This series has been an over series, 10-3, but I think something's got to give. I think that something happens to be an opportunity for the Dodgers game to stay under. I'm going to keep her moving. We're going to keep a brisk pace here because we only got a couple more moments here. Let me bang this one out really fast for you guys. I'm going right back to the well. We already cashed this one the other day. The fact is, without their star guard, Vandersloot's out of that lineup. The Chicago Sky can't do shit. I get it. I know our guy Scuntbag talked to us about the Atlanta first half -7.5, and he said that was free money, I believe. I'm just going to go back to what I know. And I know that Angel Reese ain't scoring. This team's struggling to put points on the board. Maybe tonight's the night that she finally does come out of her rebound cocoon and figures out a way to get it done. But I'm not buying it. I'm not banking it. I'm not playing all those points either. It has moved considerably now. That's kind of the point that I got to. I said, it's enough. It's moved 4 points on the Dream side of things here. It's 12.5 overall with this 6-3 Dream team. Dream team? And I don't want to get involved in that. I'm not going to fuck with that. I'm just looking at it going, hey, 77-58. The Dream can play some defense. That was against the Caitlin Clark-less pace or Indiana team, but she's supposed to be back. We'll see what that does. Ratings were down 50% in her absence is what I heard. And the Sky off of back-to-back non-cover losses, even without Caitlin, they still got busted up against that Indiana Fever team. So give me the Sky team total under. And I see our boy is there. I'm ready to go. Let me give you one last play, and we'll tune in and talk some UFC. That gets me jacked up. I don't know how to make heads or tails of what's going to happen with the 6. I see this OKC Thunder team is sitting there at 0-7, I believe, or is it 0-8 now on the road this postseason against the spread. They are a hell of a bounce back team, though. 17-2 to the bounce back on the season. After they lose, they fire right back. We saw that after game 1. They lose. They come back in game 2. They figure out a way to get it done. This number's come down a little bit. 62% of the bets, 53% of the cash on the Pacers. I saw it this afternoon at 6.5. So it's now down to some 6s in some spots out there. So I think it's going to probably fall within the number. I think OKC bounces back with that 17-2. The way I chose to approach this is put the number aside, take those points and just park them over there for somebody else. Give me SGA. Why? Because he's the MVP. He was the guy that was not the player to shine last game. He struggled. His point total's at 34.5. He came way short of that. I think I don't remember his number offhand, but nonetheless, his total's still at 34.5. I took it down to 30 plus. Just give me 30 or more points from SGA. And then I looked at Jalen Williams and I go under 21.5. Why? Because they lost last game and Jalen Williams was the number one guy on that offense. He had himself a banger opportunity. I think we got to fade away on Jalen Williams under 21.5. And I just lost our guy. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. I tried to move fast. Hopefully he comes right back here. OKC, the SGA 30 plus points, the Jalen Williams under 21.5 points, and it's a plus 268 price tag on that. So going to take a little shot that we get opportunity. There he is back in. Internet's probably giving him the same havoc it's been giving me. Let's welcome in our friend from Las Vegas down there managing the risk at the Super Book, talking some UFC. I love when our guy joins us here today. Welcome in, my friend. How are you?
What's up? How are you?
I'm struggling with the internet today, but
yeah, me too. It's been a long day trying to get my internet set up and my cameras, my headphones. It's been a rough day at the Westgate for the internet. So I thought it was on my end.
For the last couple of days, whether it be our StreamYard device or internet from some of the guys that have connected, it's just that maybe it's that time of year. I don't know. It feels like we're regressing. I never used to have internet problems, but now it seems like I get them every couple of days. So, hey, how did everything work out last week? You guys had a big pay-per-view or a big card out there with UFC. I know I think we did okay on our side of things here, but what was the take? Was the book crushing? You guys cleaning up, taking names?
Yeah, I think we positioned ourselves in a pretty good position for what the card ended up being with a lot of chalk. I mean, it ended up being what I think there was a couple underdogs and they were short underdogs. We didn't really get many of the big parlay busters, but at the end of the day, I think we positioned ourselves pretty well on a few of the fights to where we were in a good position. You were going to get that O'Malley money and it came in pretty hot. So that one kind of helped us out. But yeah, I mean, it was a lot of chalk. So it kind of is what it is with that card. On to the next one. I
was disappointed in Patchy Mix. And I thought probably the the easiest for. I mean, he just got. I don't think he got fraud checked. It's just look. It's you're stepping up to the next level, and it's the next level for a reason. So it's faster. It's real.
Yeah,
These guys are doing it professionally.
I would have been interested to see what he looked like if that was, I guess, 5 rounds. But I mean, it didn't look very pretty for the first couple rounds, and he
Mm-mm.
looked a little bit better in that third round.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean that's a tough test to come into the UFC and fight Mario Batista in that spot. I know I posted that was one of the sharp plays from last week on Twitter before the fights, and I think you said something about because that was my guy Clint's biggest play, and I was like, oh
Oh,
no,
really?
I'm nervous for my guy on that one, Patchy. But
I think
yeah,
I
I
said
mean,
sub. I think I said
hopefully,
sub in round two, and somebody
yeah.
hated on us. Somebody trolled us.
It's what they do, but hopefully he gets a bounce back fight because I'm sure he'll look much better in the next fight. You would think.
Hopefully so. And then I thought Kayla Harrison was some of the easiest money that was out there. Was a big casher for me.
Hey, I
But
mean, that's one thing Dana's got to be thrilled about. At least, I mean, the Patchy thing didn't work out. I'm sure he wanted Sean O'Malley, but at least they got the Nunes versus Harrison potential, mega fight sometime this summer, maybe early next year. We'll see how that looks.
well, we've got UFC Atlanta. I'm eager to hear what you've got going on. I'm going to put the keys in the car, get you in the driver's seat, and I'm going to just step back here and get you on the full screen while we hear what's cooking. Let's take us behind the counter and talk about what you guys see, liabilities, and where you think there's opportunity to maybe try to beat the books. The floor is yours, my friend.
Absolutely. So I'll run through some of the fights that have a decent amount of handle and some movement on the lines. But so far this week there hasn't been super heavy handle on the money lines. But I'll go through spots, and if you guys have any questions about fights in the comments or anything, or if you have any questions, we could go through those too. But I'll start with the late notice Ricky Simone versus Cameron Smotherland fight. I think that's a pretty interesting one. We opened up Ricky Simone a little bit below market wide. It opened about 550. We were sitting anywhere from 450 to $5 when we opened this. And this price has been kind of coming down over the last 24 hours. We're now sitting at minus 370. So I'm not sure if that really says that there's some sharp Smotherland action out there. I think he's a really good up and coming prospect. It's just that's a tough fight to take on short notice. But yeah, that's been a big mover so far. I mean, from where the market was at 550, we're pretty much sitting $4 everywhere if you look around the market now. So yeah, that's been a big mover. Another early fight, we did take a big bet on Jamie Lynn Horth at $4 minus 400. We're currently sitting minus 550, which it's something to take notice when these guys are willing to lay the chalk on these bigger favorites. So that was something that caught my eye early. Pretty balanced action on the Phil Rowe versus Angel Lusa fight. We were getting some Phil Rowe money early. The line came down a little bit, but over the last day or so, we've been getting some Lusa money, and that line's moving right back to like minus 140, minus 145, right around where we opened it. Yeah, I'll talk about this Chris Matinho fight too, because a few people have asked at work, like, how come this Wellmaker is such a big favorite? Not a lot to report with the bets on the money line, but we have gotten a ton of bets on the total in that fight. Strong opinions on both sides. Early action, heavily on the under, thinking that probably Wellmaker is going to get Matinho out of there early. But today we did get a pretty large bet on the over 1.5. So that's actually been one of the more fun totals to book so far. That money line is pretty untouchable, like I said. We'll go a little bit higher up on the fight. Our sharpest bet probably comes in this fight, Cody Garbrandt versus Barcelos. We opened this one up at minus 155 on Barcelos. We got hit pretty big at minus 160, and the number hasn't really stopped ever since that. We're sitting in now at minus 250 on Barcelos, so that's been a big mover, and we've kind of done our best to position ourselves to try to need him for a little win. I'm sure there will be some Cody Garbrandt takers tomorrow, but yeah, mostly steam on that Barcelos side. Let's go a little bit higher to the co-main and the main. Yeah, the Rose fight, that's a super interesting one. We opened up Rose at minus 280. We're currently sitting minus 210, so I'm sure that out there that pretty much indicates that there might be some sharp or large money on Miranda Maverick. We've kind of done our best to, stay a little bit low on that line to see if anybody was willing to lay that early big price tag on Rose. We didn't really have any big takers on that, but yeah, I would think the way this line is moving, there's clearly some Miranda Maverick love out there. Not too much to be said from what I'm seeing on our side of the counter, but just looking at that line movement on that one. We did get a big bet on the over in that fight, which feels untouchable to me. I mean, you're laying minus $4. So that was a big total bet I did see. And then we'll go with the main event, which is the return of Usman, and he's fighting Joaquin Buckley. We opened up this fight at minus 250 on Buckley. Yeah, we have gotten hit a few times on Buckley, but nothing super significant. We're currently sitting minus 260, so a small 10-cent move. I don't know if it's just me, but I'm going to have to see Buckley get this one done. If I was to bet this one, I really think Usman's a tough out for anybody. I mean, we saw that in his last fight, which was a while ago now, against Hamzat. I mean, he gave Hamzat a run for his money. I think he definitely won the third round. And that was probably Hamzat's toughest match in his career. So, yeah, I think this will be – I don't think Buckley is just going to run through Usman unless, it's completely over. So we're looking to win a little bit on Usman. We're not trying to load up to need a, plus 220 dog, but I think that there's a possibility we can get a dog in the main event for this card, and that's kind of what I'm hoping for.
Oh, that's great. I love talking fights, man. I sit here and you got the juices flowing. I'm ready to talk a couple spots here. First of all, I kind of agree with you. I think you're looking at this Usman side of things here, and the world seems to think Buckley's going to starch this dude.
Yeah.
And I could be wrong, and I know I'm an older guy myself now, and the hips and the knees and everything else, but like they're talking about this guy like he's in a fucking wheelchair, and I just don't get it. Like he's a trainer, he's a professional athlete. He took the fight. Is he just taking a payday? I don't know, but that's a big price tag, and Buckley's going to have to work. I think that one goes deep too. I think
and that's the thing. If you look at the total, it's 4.5 and under 20. So like there's slight chalk on the under, but they're expecting this thing to go, over a few rounds, which I mean, I tend to favor Usman in that situation. We've seen it from him a dozen times. So, I mean, the price is kind of surprising to me. I mean, I could look really silly when he gets knocked out in the first round, but, I just think he has passed to victory, and I think the price is a little heavy on Buckley. And I get it. This is kind of what I do the same song and dance every week. These prices aren't going to look the same tomorrow. There will be a handful of the dogs that these people are waiting for these numbers to be inflated on, and you will see them move. If you keep your eyes on these markets, it's just how this game works. And it makes it super interesting, man. I mean, you can have all the opinions in the world, and right before the fight, you can see the line crashing 80 cents, and you're like, oh boy, I'm not feeling great anymore, right? So that's the fun thing about doing this thing.
That's how I felt about the Wellmaker side of things. I was like, that's a big number, but then I saw how shitty the dude looked on the scale on the other side, and I thought, I don't know about that. That might be a well-earned price tag. You might be that big a favorite for a reason. Speaking of favorites, and what's going on with this Edmund Shabazian side of things here? Is there any light that you can illuminate on why this number's dropped as wild as it has? I mean, did the guy look like was he puking all over the scale? What happened?
I don't know, man. That's a really interesting one. That's actually one we've talked about in the back for a while. One of my buddies who's big into the UFC, he was on the Petrosky side like a month ago talking about this fight, and I was like, wow, talking about the Shabazi and Petrosky fight a month in advance. Wasn't really expecting that, but yeah, he's like, I really like Petrosky at that price, and it didn't look like it was going his way until the last day. So I don't know if it had something to do with, some information about how his weight cut went or whatnot. But like you said, there has been a big move in that fight. Let me see exactly where we opened and how much it's moved. But you're right. That might be one of the biggest movers on the whole card. Shabazian open minus 200. He's sitting minus 150. So, that's a pretty massive move. We're getting closer and closer to like that pick'em price tag. So yeah, that's a big mover.
What would you, if you were giving some advice to a novice bettor and you see the line move like that, when it comes down to a pick'em, I know some people have that philosophy. Like if it's a 20 cents of a pick'em, take the dog. And if you just consistently take the dog, you're in good shape. But when you see something that moves, I mean, this is 25% of the original opening number. Is there any spot where you would share to somebody like this might have moved too far now? There might be an overcorrection.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I think it just following trends. You see this a lot. I mean, these guys know what they're doing. A lot of these sharp bettors, will set up sides early, and then you'll see, like I said, day of, this thing might shoot back up $2 Shabazian. I'm not saying that's going to happen in this instance, but it's all about finding the value, and at some point there will, be value in betting Shabazi. And I know offshores, he opened up above $2. So if you trust these originators, these bookies who are making these original numbers, sometimes you can find really good spots where the line has just been over adjusted because of whatever sharp action or just liability. I mean, it's a very fluid market, especially on lower level fights. I'm not saying that's a lower level fight, but some of like the early prelim, especially with the female fights, where like there's one on next week's card that we don't know. You just don't know much about these fighters. So I think the lines are a lot more fluid than some of maybe the pay-per-view kind of fights, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. There's another thought that I had was, what do you attribute this disregard or disrespect to weight cuts? What's going on this year that it seems like these guys just do the, is the pond too full? They just don't give a shit because they're losing purse. And yet every single week, like, COVID era, this guy tested for COVID, that guy tested, all this happened and then the fight's off. I get it. There's a medical factor going on. And if you have a bad weight cut and you missed it, then so be it. But like, it just feels like every week we've got 3-4 plus that are just sloppy on the scales, and it's a disrespect to the game. But I'm curious I'm curious your thoughts and what's your take on what the hell's going on?
Yeah, I mean, I think like you said, it makes things just more difficult. It throws another curveball into booking these fights. I mean, last week, for example, we talked about that fight a little bit. Lipsky missed weight by like 6 pounds for De Silva. And, that was a wild fight. In that instance, a bunch of people came in and were betting really big money on Lipsky at like plus 375, plus 350. We were getting like 5-figure bets on that. And then you have crazy liability on a big dog who might have an advantage because she's 6 pounds heavier, but or she could just be like super sick. There's so many variables. Like I said, that's what makes it just makes it more difficult for us in the back, because it's like, what the hell is going on? Like, and I think that, I'm not saying there's like inside information, but it could be something along the lines of these sharp guys do wait till they see all this stuff go through first with the weight cuts and see how they look. And that's probably why we do get a majority of that sharp information within an 8 to 12 hour span before the fights actually happen.
That's unbelievable. I can only imagine you guys when you see some of these things happen where you're like, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? This line's moving. Like, is there a panic? Like, do you go into a Zen state when you see like an Edmund line drop 50 cents? Are you guys, what?
It's just about being able to, if you're not confident in a spot and you're not super opinionated and you don't have a bunch of sharp action, it's about being able to, do your best job to just balance the books on those kind of fights. There's spots that we do kind of dig our heels in where we're like, hey, we want a decision on this one. But I think it's pretty obvious that, all the books aren't just super opinionated on fights. The lines are pretty similar out there in the market. So, yeah, there is, you kind of have to stay with the market at times, or you're just gonna if we just stayed at minus $2 on Shabazian, we would be getting hammered on Petrosky.
Yeah.
Because there's people who just sit and watch a screen all day. So, yeah, you know your clientele base, and you kind of know what their game plan is after doing this for a while.
I know you got to be super careful because you're right. If you leave that number parking, there's somebody that comes from another shop and comes in there and hammers you guys to get that middle. That just makes you cringe, I'm sure. But we all know the best fighters in the fight game come from Philadelphia. So maybe that's what everybody realizes now with Petrosky. Hey, last shot here from our guy Nasty Nate in the chat here. This is Craig. You think there's a shot that we have a live dog in Paul Craig? This fight was rescheduled from a couple of weeks ago, and I guess two parts. Is he a live dog, and how does the book reevaluate a spot when a fight gets rescheduled a couple of weeks out? Do they just, is it just put the same number back on it, or are there other extenuating circumstances that go into how the line might change?
No, that's a really good question, and I probably should have talked about that fight a little bit more. I probably just didn't because there wasn't a lot of handle or information to really go off of from this week. But I do remember that this fight was on 2 weeks ago, and then he pulled out of the fight for herpes or whatever it was.
Yeah.
But we were in a situation where we needed Bellato big because there was a lot of sharp action at the end coming in on that Paul Craig side. So we had a ton of liability on Paul Craig, and that would have really that decision would have controlled our whole night. If Paul Craig won that fight a couple weeks ago, we would have been a big loser for the day, just based off of that positioning where we got hit a few big times at that big plus 350 price tag, and it only takes a handful of $5,000-$10,000 bets, and your liability is almost at six figures. It really adds up quickly. So that's kind of thing that we, the question before we just talked about, you have to stay fluid and you have to stay on your toes because you don't want to get double popped at the same number if the market is moving against you, right? So yeah, that's a really good question. There was sharp action 2 weeks ago, not much to report this week, but it's something to keep our eye on because we know there was some Paul Craig backers last time.
I was one of them. I was invested on Paul Craig, and I thought to myself, well, they're taking a ton of liability on this guy, so somebody called Uncle Dana and told him to pull this fight off the card. I mean, I don't want to put you in a compromising position, but blink twice if you have Uncle Dana's direct phone number here. No,
that's above my head.
Sometimes I feel like when you see the number and it's just that roller coaster is going down. It's like, all right, this one's getting pulled.
Yeah, but you got to wonder if, I'm not saying this is the case, but you got to wonder if the news gets out that this other guy, has some kind of sickness and, he's not looking 100%. It gets out from the camp. They're telling their people. Then the line starts crashing because of all that liability. And there's people that are just there chasing steam, right? They see the number moving and they don't want to miss that because they think that's the sharp side, right? So it can avalanche, right? If that makes sense. It can go real quick when it goes.
It's funny because this when it seemed like there was a period of time where the staph infection was rolling around the UFC like rampant, and it was one of those deals where it was like, oh look, it comes in the questions there. We talk about that with staph. Like as soon as they find out, it's the medicine that these guys have to take just drains them. It sucks that gas tank right down, and you hear if you do hear about that, it seems to be an opportunity to fire away on the other side. But I think the UFC's come a long way since some of those things that took place and may or may not have been the case. But it seems like their best foot seems forward. Some of this matchmaking leaves me a little questioning, but still at the same time, good stuff to see these plays come out there. And I'm one of those Miranda Maverick backers this weekend. So should I be scared? Should I be thinking Rose is still got a little?
I think a 3-round fight, definitely Miranda Maverick is more alive than a 5-round fight. I think that if she's able to get anything going with the offensive grappling, man, Rose is just the most difficult fighter to handicap, right? Because you don't know what Rose you're going to get. So, I mean, you can see how the lines moved. It opened like $3 on Rose. So, depending when you got in, you got to feel pretty decent about how that fight's moved so far, for sure.
She looked big at the weigh-ins, but I said this the other day, the size doesn't necessarily equate to the power. Like, she's big, but that's because she's moved up in that weight class, and she's put a few pounds on, but it doesn't necessarily see. I mean, she's just she's a big girl now, but I have a feeling that's going to be a candidate for boring fight of the night, personally. But we'll see. How it works out.
It's definitely possible. I could see that one too. It's definitely possible.
Well, Andrew, I appreciate you making the time to check in with us and share what's happening over there at the Superbook. Tell them what's going on with the Superbook and where they can find you and all that other good stuff that's happening in the world of social media.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, if you haven't followed me on X yet, please do. I try to get as much content out there. Pre-fights, get some information of the sharp action I'm seeing behind the desk and, line movements. And right now we're trying to get up a bunch of the fights that Dana is announcing. So get up the Kayla Harrison versus Nunes fight. So if you're looking for a book that, has those early lines, I think we're probably one of the only ones you'll really find, other than Bet Online and some of the other ones. And if you guys have any fights you're interested on me getting up, feel free to, just hit me up and we'll get those up for you guys. So if you don't have a spot with us yet, a book, we're a book that you should add to your profile for sure. And like always, I appreciate you having me on. I love talking fights with you. And we're coming down to the end of a lot of great sports, so I'm just trying to soak it all in. Hockey's been awesome. Even though I'm not a hockey guy, I mean, how can you not enjoy this series so far? I mean, it's a great time in the sportsbook world.
3 overtimes. Last night's game was wild. We were live streaming and grabbing some live bets at like plus 1,000 on the Oilers side of things. I tried to get in at 1,300 and the number moved that quickly down to plus 1,000. But it was a dart throw right when you're down 3-0. But the Oilers wouldn't quit, so they were ready to roll. And that's a fun series. The NBA's been a fun series. I'm excited. Any thoughts here from the game tonight in closing segment here? We'll just talk quickly and see if there's anything that you're. What are you rooting for in this game? What are you thinking about?
I'm rooting for it to be, a stretched out series. It wouldn't be a bad thing because everyone had all these strong opinions about how the Thunder were just going to roll through this team and, maybe the Pacers will win a game or whatever. And, there's a lot of people even here who had very, very strong opinions. We're in a really good spot futures wise on the Thunder, but, I'm just a fan of the sport, so I'm just enjoying the good games. Honestly, I don't have a bet on either team, so I'm just rooting for some good basketball.
That's cool. It should be a fun game tonight. They're going to be rolling it out, trying to get things moving in that series. Let's see if OKC can put their best foot forward. Make sure you follow our guy at Babakitas24 on X. Great content, especially when you get close to fight day. He's got the sharp betting reports. He's got where the moves are coming in, all the information you guys need if you want to look at some of that line movement and incorporate that and how you're going to the window. Make sure you check him out if you are down there in Vegas and give him a shout out from Sports Money. And on behalf of Andrew and the Sports Money crew and the Vegas Superbook and everybody else that's out there joining us, thank you guys for rocking with us tonight. Good luck with your action, and we'll see you tomorrow. Live stream will probably pop off around 6:45 or so, maybe 6:50 p.m. Eastern to get ready for UFC Atlanta. Thank you, everybody. Make sure you check out the videos for the best bets and everything else that we've got out there on the YouTube channel, and we'll see you guys really soon.